If you have a ball at home, something like this, you may enjoy sitting on the floor with everyone else and just rolling this ball back and forth while we sing this song. On, roll on, my ball, roll on. 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 I roll my ball around the town, rolla, rolly, rolla. On, roll on, my ball, roll on. 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 I roll my ball around the town, rolly, rolla. On, roll on, my ball, roll on. On, roll on, my ball, roll on. Now we sang, roll little Liza, little Liza Jane. Roll little Liza, little Liza Jane. Roll little Liza Jane. Roll little Liza Jane. Who is little Liza? Little Liza Jane? Who is she? Well, sometimes we call our ball little Liza Jane while we're rolling her along the floor. On, roll on, my ball, roll on. 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 I roll my ball around the town, rolla. On, roll on, my ball, roll on. On, roll on, my ball, roll on. Roll little Liza, little Liza Jane. Roll little Liza, little Liza Jane. Roll little Liza Jane. Roll little Liza Jane. So little Liza may be our ball. Other times when I sing that song, I think it might be one of those great train engines that they call Little Liza for fun. This is a great train song book. Maybe there we go. There's the great train engine. Do you think she might be called Little Liza? For some reason they always call engines she. So it might be Little Liza. It's the great train. Hope you can see it. Long train curving around the tracks all the way back around the mountain. Sunset in the background. Through the tunnel going fast. Clickety-clack, she's roaring past the cities, suburbs, little towns. Past forest greens and desert browns, spikes and cross ties, smooth worn rails, through the twilight, whistle wails, feel the rhythm, hear the sound, clickety-clacking, homeward bound. Say goodnight and wave goodbye, hear the railroad lullaby. So, that might be Little Liza. Or the other day, I was reading the story of the 3 little pigs. This is a story by Paul Galdone. And I suddenly found something rolling in this story, and I wondered, maybe the little pig called his butter churn Little Liza after he got home. Roll little Liza, little Liza Jane. Roll little Liza, little Liza Jane. Maybe. He had a long way to roll all the way down the hill coming home from town. So, you know the story, don't you? When the wolf comes and talks to the little pig, he can't convince the pig to come out, so he tries to trick him into meeting him somewhere else. And the little pig always goes a little early, never pays to pay attention to a wolf. Well, the little pig went off at 2 o'clock and bought a butter churn at the fair. He was going home with it when he saw the wolf coming. The little pig jumped into the butter churn to hide. The churn fell over and rolled down the hill with the little pig in it. This frightened the wolf so much that he turned around and ran home. And then you know what happens, don't you? The wolf tries to get down the chimney to get the pig. And he claps the lid on just in time. And he lives happily ever after. So, I wonder if his butter churn might not be called Little Liza. There's something else I found the other day when I was reading that is rolling along. This is the book Journey Cake Ho by Ruth Sawyer, and the pictures by Robert McCloskey. So there's a boy, he's a servant boy who needs to leave his master and ma'am, and she baked a cake for him. And then the strap on his bag broke, and the journey cake got away from him. Journey cake ho, journey cake high, catch me and eat me as I roll by. Away and away rolled the journey cake. Away and away ran Johnny. Faster and faster they passed a field full of corn, and a brindle cow tossed her head and took after them. She mooed, "At running I'll beat you, I'll catch you and eat you." Faster and faster, faster and faster, they passed a pond full of ducks. Journey cake ho, journey cake high, catch me and eat me as I roll by. A white duck spread her wings, and away she went after them, quacking. At flying I'll beat you, I'll catch you and eat you. Faster and faster, faster and faster, they came to a meadow where sheep were grazing. A white sheep and a black sheep took after them. Now they were through the valley, and the road began to climb. Slower and slower rolled the journey cake. Slower and slower ran Johnny, the brindle cow, the white duck, and the 2 sheep. Journey cake high, the journey is long. Catch me and eat me as I roll along. They passed a wallows and a spotted pig herd and came a grunting. And the story goes on from there with a big chase for this journey cake. So I wonder if the journey cake was maybe called Little Liza. Who knows? So you'll have to look around your house and find some rolling things. See if you can find who Little Liza is. Because the song doesn't tell us who Little Liza is. Do you remember the motions we did? I'll do them a little more slowly so you can follow along. So the first phrase we go, roll little Liza, with our hands down here because we are singing a low tone, right? So our hands are low for the motion. Roll little Liza. Then the second phrase, we reverse our hands. Go the other way. Roll little Liza. Start again. Forward. Roll little Liza. Second phrase, backward. Roll little Liza. And then the next phrase, we just go, little Liza Jane. We're not sure what those notes are. Somewhere in the middle here. Little Liza Jane. Back again. Roll little Liza. Forwards and reverse. Roll little Liza. Then little Liza Jane. See how I did that? I made a visor over my eyes and then made an X in front of my nose. And then I made a pig snout. Right? Visor, X, pig snout. Do you know what those motions actually are? It's a me, right? And what's this one? Uh-huh. And this one? Sure. So here we have me. Right. So we call these two-handed signs. Both hands can make the hand signs for our notes, right? Mi, re, do. Okay. Down here again. Roll little Liza, roll little Liza, little Liza Jane. Roll little Liza, roll little Liza, little Liza Jane. Mi, re, do. Now what's happening? We go way up to the high with our notes. So our hands have to go very high, don't they? Oh, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. Me, re, do. Do you know what those notes at the top were? They're a high do. So you could make a fist while you're rolling. Oh, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. Do you think little Liza could be a penny? You roll it along the floor. Little Liza rolling along. Let's sing our penny song. There's a penny in my hand. It will travel through the land. Is it here? Is it there? It will travel everywhere. Where's the penny? Oh. I think we should check this hand. He's not there. Huh. Where is the penny? Do you think I should check this hand too? Ah, there's the penny. There's a penny in my hand. It will travel through the land. Is it here? Is it there? It will travel everywhere. Now where do we look? Well, last time it was not in this hand, and it was in this hand. Does that give us any information about where it is this time? Well, do you think we should check this hand again, just because it might be tricky? Let's check. Let's see, which finger should come next? This one, and then this one. Oh, there it is. It popped out. It was in this hand. What do you think is in this hand? Empty. There's a penny in my hand. It will travel through the land. Is it here? Is it there? It will travel everywhere. Well, so it's time for it to be in this hand, right? Shall we check this hand this time? Here we go. Oh, no penny. Well, where is it then? Do you think I should check this hand too this time? This one. This one. This one. This one. Oh, it's peeking out. You were right. It was in this hand. Here it is. Did you play this with your family? Because it's a great game to play when you're inside together. It can also be played outside, can't it? Now, we were talking about hand signs, and I wonder if we could do some motions with this song too. There's a penny in my hand. It will travel through the land. Is it here? Is it there? It will travel everywhere. Can you do them too? Bring your hands down to the bottom, palms together. There's a penny, little fist bump here, in my hand. It will travel through the land. Is it here? Is it there? It will travel everywhere. remember what we said, the visor, making a visor over your eyes? Which note was that? That was the me, wasn't it? Me. And the X. See, the ray is a slanted hand, so we bring the other slanted hand up for a ray. Me, ray, me. And you know this one, don't you? Two fists brought together. Do. Once more, all together. There's a penny in my hand. It will travel through the land. Is it here? Is it there? It will travel everywhere. This is Oliver. I'm going to sing to him. If you have a favorite teddy or doll, you may rock him too. Or maybe you have a baby brother or sister at your house that would enjoy being rocked. Bim bam, biddy biddy bam, biddy biddy bim bam, biddy biddy bam, bim bam, bim bam, bim bam, biddy biddy bam, bim bam, bim bam, bim bam, biddy biddy bam, bim bam, biddy biddy bam, biddy biddy bim bam, biddy biddy bam, bim bam, bim bam, bim bam, biddy biddy bam, bim bam, bim bam, bim bam, biddy biddy bam, bim bam, biddy biddy bam, biddy biddy bim bam, biddy biddy bam, bim bam, bim bam, bim bam, biddy biddy bam, bim bam, bim bam, bim bam, biddy biddy bam. There are a lot of people talking right now about being alone, staying away from people. Here's a poem that talks about something you can do alone. Stars by Sarah Teasdale. Alone in the night, on a dark hill, with pines around me, stately and still, and a heaven full of stars over my head, white and topaz and misty red, myriads with beating hearts of fire that eons cannot vex or tire. Up the dome of heaven, like a great hill, I watch them marching, stately and still, and I know that I am honored to be witness of so much majesty. The end. And while I was flipping through this book, I found this poem. The Worm by Ralph Bergengren. When the earth is turned in spring, the worms are fat as anything, and birds come flying all around to eat the worms right off the ground. They like worms just as much as I like bread and milk and apple pie. And once, when I was very young, I put a worm right on my tongue. I didn't like the taste a bit, and so I didn't swallow it. But oh, it makes my mother squirm, because she thinks I ate that worm. The end. And our poems for this week, we probably about know them, don't we? Here's Wild Beasts by Evelyn Stein. I'll say the first line, And you will say the second line, and I'll say the third line, and so on until we get to the end. My turn. I will be a lion, and each of us will have a den, and you must growl and growl and growl. And then, why then, you'll growl again. And now let's swap. You do the first line, and I'll do the second line, and so on. Wild Beast by Eveline Stein. And you shall be a bear beneath a nursery chair. And I will roar and roar. And I will roar some more. The end. And then the longer one, The Weathers by Thomas Hardy. Has it been raining a lot at your house too? It has been at ours, so this poem fits. This is the weather the cuckoo likes, and so do I, when showers tumble the chestnut spikes, and nestlings fly, and the little brown nightingale bills his best, and they sit outside at the traveller's rest, and maids come forth spring muslin dressed, and citizens dream of the south and west, and so do I. This is the weather the shepherd shuns, and so do I, when beeches drip in browns and duns, and thresh and ply, and hill-high tides throb throw on throw, and meadow rivulets overflow, and drops on gate bars hang in a row, and rooks in families homeward go, and so do I. The end. And now it's time for our story, Heidi. Let's review what the story was so far. We have little Heidi, she's about 5 years old, and her Aunt Dee. They're walking up the mountain to the Almuncle's hut. The Almuncle is Heidi's grandfather, and Heidi is going to stay with him while Aunt Dee goes to the city for a job. So Heidi explores. There are 3 great fir trees behind the hut, and the wind makes wonderful music as it blows through the branches. Heidi loves standing under the trees and listening to the wind. Then she explores the inside of the hut with her grandfather. They eat some good food, but there's no bed for Heidi, so her grandfather says she may prepare one wherever she would like. She sees a ladder on the wall, so she climbs up the ladder. It's a loft full of hay. So she piles up some hay right inside a little round window, and the grandfather brings her a sheet and a coverlet, and they make the bed, and while Heidi is falling asleep, she can look down the valley through her little round window. And now, Chapter 3.